and welcome back. It's a sourcing video. Yeah, I'll call it a hot off the presses for the books that I found, and I'll go over that in a second. Well, in a minute. So I just went down to the Savers in Willoughby, and the Habitat for Humanity didn't have anything, so I went to the Savers, and I got a good amount, but I'm like, I still have plenty of time before 5. It's like 4:30 right now. So then I went down to the Volunteers of America in Willowick and picked up some other goodies. So both stores panned out real well for what I got and for what I spent. And I'll figure out what I spent in a minute. Well, at the end of the video. So we'll go over the basic kind of bread and butter stuff, work its way up, and then I'll get to the books. First is this Primus anti-pop sampler. I don't think that there were any listed. These do sell going through Terapeak for like $20. It's a big enough band, paid $1. So for me to list it, more likely, and it being Primus, and it's not really common, it'll sell pretty quick. Other thing are these, they're called Viceroy, made in Japan sunglasses, not fast sellers. A pair have sold similar to these for like $40. So for me to spend $2. So now we're just going to kind of go in value order. This will be flipped for easily $15 pretty quick. $2. Carnivale, interesting series. Is this the one? I swear it was the one. I watched this many years ago, and I believe it has Kathy Bates. That's the right one I'm thinking of. If this is not the one, then it's not the one. But the one I'm thinking of has Kathy Bates in it, and the commissioner guy, I forget his name, at least in one season. But this will flip around for 15 to 18. This is probably closer to 20. It's a sealed. Actually, I just sold a DVD open like this for pretty cheap. This one's sealed. These ones are going to be 25-ish. This Bee Gees Spirits Moving Flown. Whatever, I'm trying to read it real close. This Tito El Baranti, whichever, right around 25. These are going to be 30 to 40. This I had to go into Terapeak for Hog Scraper. A couple have sold to Terapeak. One was fairly low. The other one's 35. The other ones listed are in that mid-30 range. This Jonathan Rickman might be closer to just under 30. Kilo, the base, probably mid-30s. These treasures, I find them frequently enough. This one's closer to 40 because of the dent. If it was mint, it'd be closer to 50. If it was sealed, it'd be closer to 100. Where is Chesterfield King? I want to say this specific one, again, doesn't really have a whole lot. Through Terapeak. I think there is one listed, and it's across the pond, and it's like $50. So this is going to be closer in that, almost teeter with that 40 range. This Michael Stanley is a 2-disc, and the back artwork was on the inside, and this was on the back, inside of the back. So I had to rearrange everything. It will need respun or resurfaced. This is one has sold via scan for I think 50 in shipping. So this is a good one. So after I spin it and replace the case, most likely the parts of the case, I can make sure that it does get that better money, $60. I'll ask a little more for it, but I will determine the condition of the case and that by on how well the discs turn out after they're resurfaced. So this was the first book that I decided to keep from Savers. It was $2, and this one, it sells enough over 30 over 90 days. I think there's two, maybe three hardcover that have sold for right around 20. I went ahead and put it in Terapeak just to make sure that those aren't flukes and they would otherwise sell for less. 20 is the lower end, close to 30 is the better end, but still for $2 I'll slip in a 6x10 DVD envelope. Now we're getting into the more strange ones. So this is snakes. So I do look up some specific, I won't necessarily say like animals, but it's just the title, the information. So the one that caught is snakes and kept, whoever kept is down here. So just the two caught my eye. And then, there's going to be plenty about fish and there's going to be plenty about dogs and things like that and horses. But this is one, just those words caught my eye. Decided to look it up. And this is a first edition print. It's not signed, but it is a first edition print. And the more recents have sold for $65 to $75. There's a little remainder mark up here. So can I get that? Yep, it'll be $60 to $70 I'll get for it. This King's Heritage, again, something that caught my eye. It doesn't look like it would just be like a fictional novel. Let me see here, King Peter II of Yugoslavia. So this can be very, very specific at a time frame for a country that doesn't exist anymore. So this is enough information for me to take it off the shelf and hand type it. And it would be $1. So even if it's a $20 book, it's not. This specific one with a dust jacket definitely helps. It is clipped a little. Without the dust jacket, these sell for $50, $60. With the dust jacket and the year printing of it, I think it's the only year printing of it, but this is more likely to command $70 to $100. This Evils of the Cities by Talmage. It does sell. There's varying printings. This is in 1907. So what I did look up at Terapeak before I started the video, this would otherwise be, I think, an older printing. There's one that's listed that reads that it's signed. So if this was actually signed and not a mass print page, I don't think it would bear much of a difference. The book itself doesn't really, and anything in the soles, none shows signed. So the one that is listed as signed, I went ahead and compared the pages. So on the one that's listed as signed, this, I believe the word is my, starts exactly right where this part of his blouse is, his jacket. The tailings are the same. The ending of each word is the same. The dots, any of the extra little penmanship parts are identical. The only thing that differs from mine to that one is right here is faded. So the guy has in his that it's signed, and I'm looking at mine, and it's identical to that one. So neither. The one that's listed as signed is not signed, and mine is not signed. If there were variations in the writing, that's a big telltale sign that it is signed, especially if they differ. They may be on the same page, they may be the same words, but if the variations in the way how it's written and any of the tailings, any of the push points, any of that, all just within able to tell. They're not. They're identical. Oh, so it still sells for 70 to $100. Now this one is Return of the Living Dead by Russo, movie tie-in. You would think, especially with the barcode, you would think that this would come up with a lot. Just typing in Living Dead Russo, just typing that in, you would think that there'd be thousands. There's barely low double digits. And when you go to sold, there's a couple right around $30. There's a handful in 60 to 80. There's one, I believe, that was well over 100. And then you go to Terra Peak and the prices start to range anywhere from 200 to below. Caveat. This one is listed the highest. Caveat to that. The ones I have sold with this image are maybe 3 out of 60. So it's not really a common printing. It's a newer printing, but it's not really a common printing. Can I command a higher price? It does have littler, but it is otherwise clean. So it's going to be very good. Can I command a higher price for something that when you just have these words in Terapeak in the search and the results are very, very few and far between of the 60 or 70, however many there were that have sold? To me, that tells me it's rarer. Newer prints can be rarer, right? So this is a really good find for $2. So we have potentially a $100 book, maybe 200, anything in between. A close to $100 book, a close to, more likely at $100 book, a $60+ book, a $50, $60, $70. I don't know if I can get. I'll just $50 to $60 CD, and some other 40s and everything else down the line. That was a pretty good couple stops for the few things that I did get. For 1809 and 1873, so 36, $37. I'd say there's 700 there. So I did kind of explain a little bit in this one about looking at the writing and stuff. You're not going to come across it often, but that's at least my take on it. So I could say, if you like what you heard, like what you saw, like what you learned, thumb your thingy going up, comment something going down, positive. Sub share, everything helps. It's all free. Appreciate it.